with your children. You have to make sure that you are showing up for them as much as you possibly can. No more excuses. My dad never found an excuse. My dad never made an excuse on why he couldn't show up to one of my football games or why he couldn't show up to one of my practices or why he couldn't be there. No, he was there. He was always there. And God bless that he was always there, because I didn't know how much I needed that until now. What is up, my dear friends, and welcome back to another episode of Honey, I'm Home. Today we're talking about how to win and lead your home as a single parent. So if you're a single parent or you know a single parent, make sure that this podcast reaches them, this video, this audio, whatever you're listening to or watching. Be sure to send that over to them, because I believe that this is going to significantly help them to improve their home life with their kids and with themselves, so they don't feel so miserable, so they don't feel so overwhelmed, so they don't feel so alone in this time of turbulence. You know, this topic hits home. It hits me right at my core. I'm going to go ahead and share a little bit of my story and then give you one actionable thing that you can take away that I share with many of my clients when I go on a one-on-one discovery call, or I sit down with them on a 3-month basis to help them improve their overall quality of life by enhancing their relationships with themselves, others, God, helping them overcome heartbreak, etc. But today I'm going to talk about this topic because I read a statistic this morning that broke my heart. I never really sat down and ask the question, you know, how many single parents are there in the United States? And whether you're in the United States or not, it's affected globally, and it breaks my heart to know that this statistic states that today 1 in 5 children under the age of 18, or a total of about 15.7 million children, are being raised without a father figure in their home, which means that about 80% of the household is kids being raised by their mothers. And what a beautiful blessing and what a big curse, like being raised without a father, and the type of damage that could potentially bring into your home and into your mind as a child. And, you know, I remember reflecting back on my own experience growing up in a single parent home. Ultimately, my parents got divorced at a young age. I was about 4 years old, and they went through this terrible, chaotic split, and it was heartbreaking. There was a part of me that felt abandoned throughout my entire life, and I actually didn't gain the awareness of the feeling of abandonment until about 2 years ago, when I was like, whoa, I felt abandoned. I felt like, you know, I wasn't ever paid attention to. You know, there was these certain feelings and emotions, and, you know, but I remember when we were being raised by my father, how powerful his leadership was. So, you know, whether you're a woman leading your family or a man leading your family as a single parent, I hope that this episode finds you and encourages you to help you to win from within your own home and lead yourself and your family to victory, because there is a hope-filled future out there for you. Your current reality is not going to stay the same, because today we're going to help you to make sure that you begin to do the very things that equipped you in the way that you need to be equipped, so that you can lead your home and lead your family, and more importantly, lead yourself. So, like always, my dear friends, welcome to Honey, I'm Home. Today's a very powerful episode, and if you find this helpful, supportive, encouraging, or uplifting, all I ask is be sure to share it out with 1, 2, or 3 of your friends, and to help them out and to bring some clarity into their own home. So today we're just going to be sitting down and talking a little bit about how you can begin to win and lead your home as a single parent. So like I said, the statistic is pretty crazy. There's a lot of millions of children that are currently being raised in a single parent home. And, you know, there's a lot of pros and cons to this. I don't think that there's just a list of cons, because I come from a single parent home. And, you know, although it was challenging at time financially and emotionally, and, you know, personally it was challenging, that didn't stop me from growing. Actually, it's the challenges that helped me to become more independent and to become more of a leader, I think, of within my own life. You know, there was a lot of things that I had to do that required me to grow up quickly. And I feel like a lot of us have that similar story. I mean, clearly the statistics show that today 1 in every 5 children under the age of 18 are currently being raised in a single family home. That is wild. That is insane. And I'm going to fix that. I'm going to help be the solution. I'm going to bring on guests that are going to help be the solution to help make sure that we can change that statistic, because it's possible. We just need to understand more of the family dynamics and how relationships really work. And if we were to adopt some foundational principles into our relationships to help them to evolve and to improve and to, really bind together in a fashion that is, significant enough to improve that relationship, we're going to be in a good place. And so Honey I'm Home is going to empower you to lead within yourself, your home, and your future. So let's talk about some of the strategies, and what it means. So a little bit about my story here is I was raised by my father in a single-parent home with my brother in a trailer. It was a 2-bedroom trailer, and when I became of age, my dad decided to give up his bedroom and slept on the couch from, probably about 16 years. About 16 years my dad, his bedroom was the living room. And my brother got a bedroom, I got a bedroom, and there was a lot of challenges that we faced in a household. But, ultimately, although we weren't financially well off, what my dad couldn't provide to us financially, he provided with us with his presence, with his attention, with his love, and it was showing up. So once again, he did everything in his power. When he was working, 4/12s or, up to like 15 hours a day, it was hard on him, and I noticed that. But he would then come home. I talk about in my book, The Big Three, how he would show up intentionally in the home, where he would keep everything. He would spend a couple minutes outside of the home prior to walking into our home, kind of transforming his mindset to be a father within the home and let the work stress, be dissipated inside the car. So I've learned that lesson from him. I remember watching him constantly show up to our home, and he'd spend 5-10 minutes out in his car, and I would be like, what is he doing? He looks like he's just talking to himself. And later on in life, I asked him, Dad, what were you doing when you were raising us, and you would just spend 5, 10, 20 minutes in your car prior to coming in? He said, I was preparing my mind to be the father that I knew you two boys needed me to be. And what a beautiful blessing. Now I have implemented that in my own life and in my own marriage, where I spent a couple minutes prior to walking in my door to be very intentional about the husband that I need to be for my wife, letting go of today's stressors, of today's work life, of today's overwhelm and worries, and making sure that the first thing that I'm going to be when I walk through my door is that loving husband. And so that's what I'm asking you to be, is let's start off here. As a single parent, I'm coming from the place of the child, not the actual single parent. I was the one that was raised by a single parent, and like I said, there's a lot of blessings to that. The first thing, in order for you to win within your own home, is I'm asking you as the single parent, you have to be more present and intentional with your children. You have to make sure that you are showing up for them as much as you possibly can. No more excuses. My dad never found an excuse. My dad never made an excuse on why he couldn't show up to one of my football games, or why he couldn't show up to one of my practices, or why he couldn't be there. No, he was there. He was always there. And God bless that he was always there, because I didn't know how much I needed that until now. And he's still here to this very day. It doesn't matter what I needed. I needed him to come. He'd drive 3 hours to take care of my wife and I's dog when we were on a trip with our Bible study friends. And, his willingness to just drive up here 3 hours away from his home where he lives to come take care of our dog is just the type of guy that he is. He's always willing to go out of his way to make sure that his family's taken care of. And that's what I need you to do as well. I'm asking you, and you might already be doing it. It's just a reminder is all it is. Friendly reminder, hey, are you being intentional? Are you being present? Are you showing up for your children? Are you showing up for your children in a way that shows that you love them? You might not be able to supply them with the financial security, but you can supply them with the love security. You can supply them with the confidence they need by speaking into their life to help them understand, to paint the picture as the leader within your own home, that this life that you're currently experiencing isn't the life that you need to continue to live after you get out of this home. I can only show up and be as good as I can be as the father, my dad once said. But I promise you, what my dad instilled into me is that our future is brighter than his current reality. And we should never allow our current reality to dictate what our future is going to look like. Time and time again, my dad inspired for us to be visionaries, to do great things, to always pursue our dreams, to go and take the chance, to go do what he couldn't do or he felt like he didn't do. And that is something that stuck with me. It's like, so I'm going to make sure that I give honor to my father by showing up and pursuing my dream, by starting a podcast, by writing a book, by building a community, by coaching other people to help them through their own family dynamics so that they can live an enriched life, so that they don't have to experience a divorce, so that they don't have to, go through some devastating heartbreaks. Like, we can win within our homes, but we just need a little bit of help. And so I'm hopefully going to share with you some what I like to call is the power hour, the victory hour. And this is such an important conversation that I hope that you take some notes on, because the power hour or victory hour is what every leader must implement into their home so that they can lead and win in their home, so that they can lead their children, so that they can lead themselves. And so, like, it's going to be very hard for us to be able to lead ourselves or lead our family when we're not currently being a leader toward ourselves. And leadership is all about setting the example. It's all about being the example. It's all about showing up and making sure that we are leading in a way that inspires others to follow and inspires others to act in the way that we'd hope that they would act. So as a single parent, I know that you're overwhelmed. I know that you're exhausted. I know that it's really challenging. I know the finances are not the greatest. I know that, the difficulties of the reality of, like, trying to navigate your emotions of feeling, broken, or, like, you're seeing your significant other move on and you feel like, you had everything, now you lost everything. It's an uproot that is just challenging to move through. But here's what you can do in order to help your home win from within, help you to become a better leader, as well as a better father or a mother for yourself and also for your family. And the first thing is making sure, like I said already, making sure that you leave your daily stresses outside of the door. When you walk in, set the intention on who you are going to be. My dad told me that he would always walk into the home and set the standard that he's going to be a loving father to his boys and be the father that his boys need. I'm asking you, are you currently doing that prior to going into your home? After work? Are you currently showing up, or are you currently just showing up and being super reactive where you're going from one stressor to the next? Are you allowing yourself to take the breather, the meditation, the moment that is required for you to reset, readjust, and set the intention for a hopeful night with your kids or by yourself or, with whomever? Are you resetting? Are you giving yourself that chance to take a break, to take a breather, to allow yourself to digest the day like you digest some food? Are you allowing yourself to just be there in your car prior to walking into your house and just screaming and ripping your hair out because the dishes didn't get done or your kids didn't listen to you, or you have a bunch of other things that you're responsible for and you feel super overwhelmed because you didn't have the greatest day? Like, I get it. I get it because I've lived through that for the past 16 years of my life, right? Which is more time than I've been alive. So it's like 16 years of my life has been dedicated in a single-parent home. When I moved out at the age of 17 or 18, my life began to change, and it changed for the better because of the vision that my dad instilled into me, knowing that my future didn't have to be equivalent to the reality that we were currently living in. So here's a tip. Be sure to set the intention before you walk into your home. That's something that I do still to this very day. Every time before I get home, maybe you're on the commute, you maybe have a 20 to 30-minute commute on your way back home from work. That is the time that you allow yourself to debrief, allow yourself to start to think, start to question on this very question, which is, who do I want to be today in my home for those that love me in my home? Whether it's yourself or your kids, who do you need to be? How do you need to show up? Answer that question, get clear on that question, and then start to live in congruent to that very thing. The second big idea here is this. It's called the power hour or victory hour. And I honestly believe it's going to be hard for you to lead within your home if you can't lead yourself. So this is going to be a habit that you need to set up into your own life that's going to significantly improve your quality of life and leadership so you don't feel so overwhelmed, so you feel more at peace, so you feel more happy, so that you feel more confident in your ability to figure things out, to be able to bolt through the fog, to see through the fog, to see through the darkness, to be the light in the hopeless, and to just share your light onto your family. And this is what I like to call the power hour victory hour. So as the leader within your own home, one thing I recommend you try to start implementing into your life is waking up an hour before your household wakes up. So if you know that you're your kids or your household wakes up, at 6, I need you to wake up at 5, because what you need to do in the hour, the power hour or the victory hour, is you need to get very intentional about how you're going to show up today. You are the creator of your own reality for the most part. And you should take this opportunity to begin to formulate a plan on how you're going to get through your day. So in this hour, we're going to take care of you. Because if you're not taken care of, who's taking care of you? If you're not taking care of yourself, who's taking care of you? Most of the time as a single parent, you are the one that has to take care of you and your family, your finances, the home, the food, the pressure, all of the external things. And I know that can weigh a lot on the shoulders. My dad has massive shoulders, and they're stressful shoulders. Anytime I've like hugged my dad, or I've given him a shoulder rub, he is as tense as a rock, and it's because he has so much stress that he's carried throughout his life that it's just built up on his shoulders, and you can feel it in his shoulders. And I don't want you to be that. So here's what you're going to do in the first hour of your morning prior to your kids waking up. So what I do for my wife and in my own household is my wife wakes up at 6, I wake up at 5. And between the hours of 5 and 6, I make sure, actually I give myself an hour and a half, so between the hours of 5 and 6:30, I make sure that I focus on my mind, body, emotions, and spirit. Okay? So I call these the internal empires, and these internal empires are there to help you to understand yourself as a whole. So I believe that you're not just a body. I don't believe that you're just a mind. I don't believe you're just a spirit. And I don't believe you're just your emotions. I believe that you're a bunch of these things. So your mind, body, soul, and emotions. So I'm going to help you to implement a habit an hour before your house wakes up so that you're prepared to take on the day, take on the stress, take on the worry, make sure that you are equipped mentally and emotionally to be the light in your family that your family needs. Okay, so the first 15 minutes of your day, when you first wake up, I recommend you move your body. It doesn't need to be super vigorous. I do recommend that you try to sweat within 15 minutes, but ultimately it's going out for a walk. It's going, do some jumping jacks. It's literally getting on your, fitness, center at your house or wherever. It's realistically, the first 15 minutes of my waking hour is about stretching. So I just stretch, I move my body, I feel my body, I feel the stress of the day, I allow my body to move it. It's like yoga, it's kind of just like more of stretching. But that's the first thing that you really need to focus in on is how can you begin to move your body? And I'm saying 15 minutes, so it breaks down into an hour form because there's four parts to the internal empires. Your body is one of them. So spend 15 minutes on moving your body, some way, shape, or form. Getting outside, maybe doing some breath work, maybe stretching, maybe doing some pull-ups and sit-ups, doing some push-ups, whatever it is, just start to move your body and appreciate it, because I believe that we will begin to feel old when our body stops moving for us, right? When our joints start to hurt. So become more flexible. Start moving your body. You'll begin to feel better in your body, which will then help you feel better in general. And feeling better is what's one of the biggest keys to a great leader, is they feel good and they take care of themselves. So take care of your body. The second big idea is to take care of your mind. For the next 15 minutes, I need you to read. I need you to digest something that's really powerful, that's really moving. That's a personal development book, that's a podcast, that's the Bible, whatever you want to do, but you need to equip your mind with some good into your mind. You got to make sure that you X out the noise of social media. You cannot be on your phone and scrolling through social media within the first hour of your day. You got to make sure that you're not tuning into the news or any type of music. You just got to make sure that it's something positive that can enhance your quality of life, meaning a good book, the Bible, a podcast, a motivational clip on YouTube, whatever it takes for you to be able to feel more inspired throughout your day so that you can lead your family. Because ultimately, if you're not putting good in, it means you're putting bad in, right? You don't just stay still. You're allowing the outside world to influence your internal world. Well, now I'm asking you to make sure that you're the master of your internal world by making sure you're prioritizing what you're putting into your mind and body, okay? So take care of your mind, take care of your body in the first half hour of your day, okay? The first half hour is taking care of your mind and your body. Secondly, in the next 15 minutes, you're going to really take care of your soul, take care of your spirit, take care of yourself, which is basically connection to God. Whether you believe in God or the universe, I believe that everybody believes in God. It just depends on the form of God. And am I saying that? I'm saying it in a way that, we either believe in a God or we believe that there's a God within us. So we believe in ourselves. And what I need you to understand is that you need to sit down and just feel yourself connect to God in some way, shape, or form. Sometimes I go outside and walk. Sometimes I pray. Sometimes I read the Bible. Whatever form of finding God and searching for God is for you, I recommend that you look for how the universe or how God supports you and uplifts you. In my eyes, I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ. So I sit and I meditate and pray on God. I read the Bible. I also write in my journal that I have sitting here in front of me, and I write a good morning letter to God, thanking him for this day, for the day that I had yesterday. And I just write, good morning. I thank you for, and I go on a list of the things that I feel thankful for. This helps me to just feel like the world is working with me rather than against me. And that can go a long way, especially when you feel so single and alone and lost in this moment of your life. So once again, I ask you to figure out a way in which you can connect with God and feel good about your connection with God. And like I said, there's multiple ways that you can do that, but finding your own way is important. And last but not least, so we talked about your mind, we talked about your body, we talked about your soul. Now we have to talk about the emotional mess that's going on within. So we need to learn how to become controllers of our emotions, and not technically just control them, but basically allow them to not make us so reactive. It's important for us to understand that we are not our emotions, but we are the awareness behind the emotion. We are the one experiencing it and noticing it, not the emotion itself. This is a big realization. And if you can understand that emotions are not who you are, that you are greater than an emotion, you are the awareness of the emotion, you're going to free yourself from being reactive in your life. So what I want you to do in this last 15 minutes is just journal or just speak into your phone, either or, but make sure that you just allow yourself to just get out of your mind and out of your chest, whatever needs to get out of your mind or chest. I allow myself 15 minutes to just throw up on my pen and paper. Or if I feel like I'm too lazy that morning, I will speak it out. Whatever it is. It can be good, it can be bad, whatever's on your mind. Just make sure that it gets out of your mind and body so that you can experience more freedom prior to getting your day started. Because here's what happens is we oftentimes allow the emotions of the day to basically stay within our mind and body. And then we go to sleep and marinate in that mess for 8 hours. If we're lucky, maybe 6 hours, we marinate in that mess. We marinate in those emotions. We sleep and digest those. And then we wake up feeling the exact same way because we never allowed ourselves to reset and release the emotions that are locked within our mind and body because we're not journaling, we're not speaking them through, we're not getting clear on the problems, and we believe that we are our emotions, which is not the truth. So my dear friends, if I were a single parent, learning from my own father and my own mother, here's what I would recommend you do so that you can win in your home and so that you can lead your home. I would implement the habit of the power hour or the victory hour in my life. I would make sure that I'm taking care of myself prior to trying to take care of my family that needs me to show up. The way that I can continue to show up for my wife on a consistent basis is by showing up for myself on a consistent basis. The moment that I get lazy on myself is the moment that I get lazy on my family. I can't do that if I want to build a happy home, a healthy home, a strong relationship that's going to take us places and change and make a difference in this world. So I ask, are you willing to lead and win within your own home? Are you willing to implement the habit of the victory hour or power hour?